Breaking news over here. Listen up.
I want to share with you guys some information that I found out about Walmart coming to every store in America shortly. But first, I want to kind of go back in time a little bit because I know they're throwing so much at us, it's hard to remember everything. The stores that were all in on the COVID, okay, the lie of the COVID, all right, with mandatory masking and mandatory vaccines. I really try to keep an eye on them right now because they are in the forefront of what could be coming. All right. So Amazon, Walmart, Costco, all the big companies that mandated all this stuff for their employees, I really try to keep an eye on them. All right. And today's story is going to be pretty interesting. So Walmart is rolling out digital price tags in every store in North America. Here's the video clip.
2 days. That's how long it used to take employees to change paper price labels on the 120,000 items in a typical Walmart store. With digital tags, it takes minutes.
It really allows retailers to change prices by store, by region immediately.
The world's largest retailer is switching to electronic shelf labels, known as ESLs, at all its U.S. stores later this year. The biggest grocery retailers in Canada have also dabbled in digital labels, with Sobeys on track to switch to ESLs this year. The savings on labor costs are obvious, but consumer groups worry about the potential for algorithmic and targeted pricing made possible by digital price tags and AI. These types of algorithms are already used in the travel industry.
If you buy an airline ticket very early, it's usually cheaper. And as it gets closer and closer to sold out, it will get more and more expensive.
Another concern is surge pricing, used by services like Uber, where prices are set based on real-time supply and demand.
People need coffee more in the morning, so should they charge 20% more?
Though proponents say ESLs could help reduce mistakes on the cost of items and present more deals, similar to what's already available in other industries.
Happy hour at restaurants, where if you go early, you get a deal.
But AI technology can enable targeted pricing. In December, Instacart found itself in hot water in the U.S. over what critics called predatory grocery pricing, pushing up costs on certain items for some customers.
What scares people is the fact that based on their demographics and personal information footprint, that they're going to pay more than other people based on that.
Experts Global News spoke to say backlash against Canadian companies that misuse ESL technology would be swift.
I don't think you'll see the big grocers using it in Canada. I just think that they're too smart. They realize that consumers would be very angry.
But Canada's regulators are often spurred to action by complaints, and ESL technology is still in its infancy. Anne Gaviola, Global News, Toronto.
Now, if you're paying attention to some of this digital stuff, the social credit scores, if you're not maybe eating healthy the way they want you to, maybe you won't be able to get that bag of Doritos. Maybe that bag of Doritos will go from like $3 up to like $7, okay? Because they can almost control the prices instantly. I'm going to read you some of the comments under this information that I found and see if it rings true with how you're thinking. They want to be able to inflate prices instantly. Targeted pricing equals how much they think they can rip you off. And if you think about it, you have to think about all the people that could be losing jobs because of this technology. They say it takes 2 days for the people in the store to go around and change all the price tags. Now it only takes a little bit of time, so they won't need all that extra labor, okay? So one of the goals of all this digital stuff is to also phase out non-essential workers, all right? Which is basically like the poor and lower middle class people now are going to be left without a job. I'm not sure how that's going to work out. One commenter said, so that means the price of your groceries could become more expensive before you even get to the checkout. The big Canadian grocers are too smart to misuse electronic labels. Oh, my sweet summer child, they are too greedy not to. Another commenter says they should pass a law that grocery stores can only change the prices 1 time per day at midnight. Then in the US, watch how many lobbyists hit up congressmen with, yeah, that's not a good idea. A lot of interesting comments. Another commenter says they could be preparing for hyperinflation. As the dollar dies, if you guys know about the Weimar Republic, they had to have a wheelbarrow of cash just to buy a loaf of bread. I think one of the things we can take away from all this stuff, though, is that you really should be learning how to grow your own food. You should really put in a small garden in your backyard. maybe try to get some chickens, maybe try to become a little more self-sufficient, okay? Otherwise, if you guys remember back during COVID, you're gonna have to bow down to the powers that be and do exactly what they tell you. They had you, you know, doing some pretty crazy things, right? And maybe you got a cheeseburger, or maybe you got some McDonald's fries.
Thank you so much, Randy. Thank you to the whole Shake Shack team. This is really going to help us out. And did you say free fries when you get vaccinated? I got vaccinated. You're saying I could get this? These delicious fries? Wait a minute. But there's also a burger element to this? Let me check with Bill Neathart. Is it too early in the day to eat a burger? Not. This could be breakfast? Okay. I want you to look at this and think about, again, some people love hamburgers, some don't. Really want to respect all ways of life. But if this is appealing to you, just think of this when you think of vaccination. Vaccination. I'm getting a very good feeling about vaccination right this moment. Thank you to Randy Garutti and, of course, Danny Meyer, who's doing so much to help us with the recovery, and the entire team. I've got to finish chewing for a moment. I think that would be more dignified, don't you think? Yeah. So, everyone, we're going to keep rolling out incentives. We're going to keep making it easy. We're going to keep making it fun. We really, really need to get everyone vaccinated. So keep watching, keep joining in.
Maybe you got a $15 gift certificate. A lot of that stuff was just off the chain. I couldn't even believe it was happening, but yet people were falling for it left and right. Okay? I just want to bring you this information so that way you guys are a little bit ahead of the curve. You guys know now that this is part of Walmart's rollout. They are going to have it in every store in North America by the end of 2026. So stay vigilant out there. Remember, the most capable hand is at the end of your wrist. If you like this type of information, make sure you hit the share button and share it with your friends, and also hit that thumbs up. It's absolutely free, and it helps get the video out to more people so they can actually see what's on the way. All right, we'll see you guys on the next video. Amazing.
Well, everything digital. This is how they will deceive the elect who think are on the right path. Sorry, but the government has no heart or good intentions for you. People will be losing jobs and will have a hard time surviving, but that is why learning to grow your own food, even if it's just the basics, is better than relying on the rulers of this world. Targeting pricing and changing prices last minute depending who is buying or popular items being bought the most. Plus charging more depending on demographics, which can be flipped, charging less for those who are well off and charging more for those who are not. And if you know the social credit score, where they will monitor what you eat or drink and a plethora of other things that the digital AI control, can cut you off in purchasing food, drinks, and material things. And as for Uber, they can flip to charging people because of drinking coffee to start out their day, or depending what day and hour most people call for rides will be pricey compared to other times that are not as busy. Also, to add to this whole crazy shebang is they will push for people to vaccinate and will use tactics such as offering free items, gift certificates, even a goddamn donut like they did in 2020 and 2021. It's stupid amazing to me how people fall for this and are willing to stand in line to receive DNA-altering pharmaceutical injections that will eventually turn families and children into human zombies / sleeper cells. Yeah, the shit that runs in your blood. They have technology that connects to that and will switch you off and on when they want. Well, leave a comment and let me know what you think about all this, and thank you for being here. Thank you for listening.